going into my basketball. Every time I rock, man, this is how we rap and raw. Peace to my man, now we got the camera out. Every time I spit it, cross over the...
Hello, everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu, and you're tuning into the 43rd episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. We just recently dropped episode 41 just today on all platforms, so you'll definitely check it out on all platforms. But this is a new episode right now, and we're gonna get started right now. You've seen him like all over Toronto. You've seen him like freestyle all over. King and John, King in Portland. Young Street, Young and Dundas. Everywhere you go. Like he was recently on Queen's Quay as well too. You'll know him from his ciphers, his freestyles, everything else too with it. And also known for his Charlie Bo Free One Free interview. We have Masta Inferno in the building. How are you doing today, man?
What up, man? Supernova Human Torch. Yo, man, it's an honor to have me on your platform, man.
True. Yeah, man. If you want to like lower the mic down for a bit too to get people to know your face.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
I'm out in ninja mode.
Yeah, man. Like it's been good so far. Like shout out to Karen. She's like in the building right now too. Like She got me hooked on to you for a bit too. Just like tapping in and like listening to the freestyles, and it's been good from there. And I told you earlier, like off the record, that basically you were like the inspiration for the whole intro thing, like on the pod, like
wow.
Because like we talked about it. I played you the snaps, had the videos too, kind of took the audio from that and took the specific part, and it made it work. So I got to salute to you on that, and hopefully we'll do like an actual like track for the intro soon, so that we'll actually like embody that freestyle, like get that done and all that. But yeah, man.
Shoot, man. Like couldn't to morph into an actual record, you know what I'm saying? Write it down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look, Mom, I'm actually right.
Yeah, man. Like, and like just seeing you like all over instead of like being a recording artist, it's amazing to see too, because we don't see people like really outside like that. Everyone's either like a bedroom artist or like, also a recording artist, like in the studio and all that. You don't see them like really, really outside like that. And, you're the person that embodies like being outside, so we'll discuss more on that,
Absolutely, man. Speaking of which, I was literally just outside last night with my homie that came from my crew. We're outside like Blue Jays.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. To get it started right now, where did you grow up and what was like the environment like for you as a kid at the time? And how did the surroundings and environments shape your current values and ethics in that sense?
Wow. So I'm originally from Parkdale. Like my hospital I was born in was St. Joseph Hospital. You know what I mean? And I'm the youngest of 5, actually. Family of 5. When I was young, I used to hate it. I was that kid that always moved. You know what I'm saying? Like I hated it. It wasn't like I champion it now. But at that time, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, you only in a certain area for a certain amount of time. You meet friends. You play in Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go play in the hoop. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you're gone. You're gone. You know what I mean? Like, a little bit in like Etobicoke. I grew up in Saga 2. A bit of Brampton as well. And Toronto now. You know what I'm saying? So I literally lived around GTA. You know what I'm saying? In a nutshell.
Yeah, man.
I guess the part of your question was like, what else?
Like, how did it change, like, your current values and ethics at the time, like, growing up in those areas?
Yo, those areas, man, for whatever reason, I always felt like there's always that pressure to, like, I would say healthy pressure to, like, just get better. Like, I was just fortunate to be in every friend that I've made or circles I've been a part of. It was always competitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? To put it plain. Like, even if it was down to literally playing N64 Mario Kart. Yeah. It's like, yo, I'm slapping you. Like, I've always been around that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's down to that. But now it's like, going back to the art, I've learned a lot. Like certain values and, just like any human being on earth, like I dealt with my bumps and bruises. I dealt with a lot of different, trauma and certain things that I've experienced. In terms of values, I'll definitely say like it's the values outside of what I just mentioned. Like my family is like really ingrown. Like my pops, like very hardworking. Mom's like even right now, like he's in his late like 70s and he's still working. Like part of my mission is to get him to retire. You know what I'm saying? Like where he's not having to do that. You know what I mean? Because he's been putting like food on the table for so long. And
Yeah.
now it's like, nah, man, I haven't really had that discussion with him yet, but you know, that's part of the
And
motivation.
just like kind of making it out the hood and all that too, you know. I mean, making it out the hood and like living in the Hollywood Hills, like I kind of get like that whole like hustle and all that either way too, you know. So yeah, man.
100%, man. And like, I love that you said that because like living also like in a hood and suburb, I feel like I have the best of both worlds. I've experienced both sides, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, even recently, you know what I'm saying, living in like from like suburb back to the hood, back to this area, back to this.
Yeah.
And it's like my whole life is like, you know, I'm used to like just travel, you know, and again, like I was saying, like back then, like I didn't like it. At first I hated it, you know what I'm saying? Because like as a kid, like you want something stable, like, you know what I mean? Man. Even if it, you know, just so you can build and grow, but
100%.
But now on a reflection tip, I'm like, that's dope because now I'm like, yo, I have like so much well of experience to pull from. It's not like just one singular experience.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100% too. And you know, like those areas too, like Parkdale, I think the biggest artist that actually came out of there, ironically, was Friday Ricky Dread, who now does like We Love Hip Hop and all that, and other parts too. So like even the areas that you grew up, were they big for music at the time growing up?
Absolutely. Like influences, like so I was saying like how I have like family 5, right?
Yeah.
So growing up, like my household, my parents are like super like religious, you know what I mean? And outside of like gospel, that was like the main thing, like, you know what I mean? Like what, you know what I mean? And I'm also like Jamaican descent, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like mainly Jamaican mix. Excuse me. And then like we had R&B, reggae, hip hop, you name it, soul, funk, you know, the whole nine, so to speak. And like my bros, like one of my bros who, you know, just, you know, he passed a year ago, growing up with him, like he was another one actually. I have to, you know, cite him because outside of like, he was just artistically gifted, you know what I mean? And that's another, I think that's a hidden talent of mine too. Low-key can draw too, you know what I mean? And cause of him, he got me on my, whenever we played Street Fighter, for instance, Street Fighter Alpha 3, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, and then after I had those sessions, I'll go chill in my sister's room and she would have like a whole list of albums, you name it, like Big Pun, Capital Punishment to like Maya, just different random records, you know what I mean? But it's like
man.
A whole collection. And like, I'm from that era too, where like we had the Sony Walkman, you know what I'm saying? From the Gen Z, they might look at me like I have 3 heads, but like, the Walkman where you actually had to open up the disc tray and put the thing in. And
like, you had to like go to like HMV and all that, like cop the record like on Friday, or like, I mean, there's like Sonic Boom and like, there was like this other thing to play the record and all that. They actually had a documentary just last year and all that. I don't know if you managed to go to play the record like during those times and all that.
So now during that time, like the timeline I'm describing was when I was like young, like 10, 12, like but in fairly recent times, so in the 2010s, I would say around I believe 2013, 2014.
Oh, true.
Yeah, it was still fairly recent. I was in my 20s, you know what I mean? And I was like really like crate digging heavy. Like I'll get vinyls every week. I'll be pulling up to shows, even if I'm not performing, you know? So I won't mind digging into that at some point. But like I've been to like a lot of my hero shows, like a lot of legendary cats in the game that I've met in the culture. Like,
man,
that's a no-nos. I've tapped in with them and got, you know, jewels. Like I'm fortunate and blessed and eternally grateful for it, you know?
Man. Nah, likewise, bro. And, you know, to speak a little bit more, like what were you like as a kid, teenager / like young adult, like during those times from kid to adulthood? Do you feel connected to those old versions of yourself from like old programs and recognizing like the impact it has on the current version of you?
Wow, I love that question. I feel like there's still elements of my younger self that I am still connected to. Like in terms of the creativity, like I don't feel like it's ever gonna go. Like until I'm dust, I think I'm always gonna just be a creative. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like and separating me from creativity is like separating adamantium from Wolverine. Like, good luck. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I do feel like parts of my former self, I've grown substantially, you know what I mean? Yeah, and in a lot of different ways, you know, investing in myself, doing a lot of reading, you know, shouting up my sister again when I was young. She made sure that she got me like pocket thesaurus in the dictionary. So like when I was writing, like I used to study all that front to back and all that. Like now, like, cause I've gotten that question before. I don't really read it as much now because now it's not necessarily studying, for example, to see like, yo, what rhymes with TV? You know what I mean? Like I have a vocabulary, you know what I mean? Or in my mind, I like calling it flowcabulary, you know what I'm saying? So I have a whole flowcab of what goes, but that, I wouldn't arrive to that without that foundation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so like going back to your question, like that's the parts of myself too. Oh, and my personality back then, it's funny. Now I view myself as more so of like a sniper rifle. Back then I was a bazooka. Like, I was a loose cannon. You know what I mean? I'm a lot more chill and whatever. But if you met me back then, you would still see elements of me. I did feel like I still was like in my social circles, I was mostly the mediator. You know, but I'm a kid, you know what I'm saying? You go through kids, you do dumb shit. Like, you know, anyone that, you know, that pulls up and acts like they've never done it, like, come on, bro. This cap, you know what I'm saying? We all go through stuff, you know what I'm saying? And we all done like mischievous things, you know what I'm saying, as a youth, you know?
Most of I could like definitely agree like on that sense too. Like I think Toronto low-key has like two types of people, like the sniper rifles and the bazookas and all that. Like the bazookas are all out, all in energy too. Like we're gonna do things to like get shit popping. Like the sniper rifle, silent, precise, but full of accuracy, like in that sense too. And like you could definitely tell like someone from like those personality traits too. So I definitely agree, man. So yeah, man.
I still feel like I had the bazooka lurking in there, and I was just a lot more controlled, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Professor X with the cerebral arm, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, 100% too. I mean, we talked a lot about it. Like I think we covered like a lot of questions too from what we've discussed too. So but you said like, you know, we talked earlier, you said you've been performing before, doing street performing for like over, I think like what, 20 years, I think too. So
yeah.
Tell me more about that.
So I've literally been, this is the second interview that I've got a chance to like mention this on, actually. I said this on my other one that's on YouTube, my shout out to homie Daniel, who runs Sidebar. Yeah. I mentioned that I've been doing it since I was 8 years old. Like that's how long I've been at this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? And actually, you might get a jewel. I hadn't a chance to say this ever. So yeah, it's just fun. So outside of when I started writing at 8 years old, like I had my hands, like, you know, I was mentioning creativity.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always been that creative kid, like just facts, you know? So like I was writing, I was playing ball, drawing. And at one point I actually wanted to be into the pro, like basketball, like literally like on my Allen Iverson, like at one point, like no cap, like
man.
I would train for that too. Like it's just everything. I think, what's that? I forgot who said it, like, to cite the quote, but I just remember it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. Like I feel like I'm like that. Like I've always been my hands in the different pots. But then like when to be honest, I had like my own like Michael Jordan incident in high school where it got cut from the team when I should have, and people on the team were vouching me on the team. And I was like, you know what? It's all right, cool. I'll hold that. You know what I mean? And then you know what? I ended up like just channeling that and just went full blast into the music. You know what I mean? That's like high school. But yeah, like essentially, like, yeah, I've been on it since 8, and because of like, you know, like I say, like for me, like, I was on the shoulders of giants. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my folks, because I'm the youngest, 91 kid. My sis is like 1980. My other bro 70, 78. My other bro, like eldest bro, he's 75. And then my second oldest brother also, he inspires me too. So my other brother, David, he is, it's crazy because he got, as a kid, he always got underestimated because he had autism, right? And what was perceived for him as a disadvantage was his advantage. And what I mean by that is like, he's one of the only black youths that was really full-fledged into hockey. Like he didn't give a fuck. Like he went into hockey and baseball and he still does it. You know what I mean? And he was actually proficient at it. Like, I'm not just saying it because he's my bro and like, no, he legit, like I remember pulling up with him to Albany, watching him play and people underestimating him and / thinking that this is going to be like an episode of Recess and I'm going to bully him. Like, nah, bro, I seen it. Like, I don't know what they're different, bro. Like seeing him on the ice was like, yo, it's like they're like, yo, we're gonna pick on him. I seen like they had like a double team on him one time, and I'm like, I just seen him body check this dude with the puck. It was like I was literally watching a movie, bro. I'm like, this is my bro on the ice. Like he's body checking 2 dudes. Almost got put in the penalty box, took the puck, did some like deep behind, and then like shoot it in, bro. Like no cap, bro. I'm like, bro.
Wait, and this is what, like college hockey, or is this like actual like, you know, minor league hockey and all that?
It's minor league. He was like Brampton Battalion, you know, at the time. Yeah. And then he had a I forgot what team, but we had to make a trip to Albany. So it was one of my first instances going to New York. Even though it wasn't like New York, but I'm like, Albany, I don't care. It's on a resume.
So how's it like having a brother that kind of made it from there, like even having that disadvantage and all that, you know?
Inspiring. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just to echo, like literally just, bro, like just seeing him handle that pressure and those supposed odds against him and people clowning, like literally talking to him and like try to scrap him. And then the thing is with him too, he took that and made sure he got like D's. Like at one point, like there's times where, and that's what I'm saying, like their minds are different, bro. Like I've seen, like, for example, like I remember like we'd be watching like, I don't know, my bro had like a whole VHS tapes of like classic not only cartoons, but like Little Rascals, In the Living Color, or whatever. We'd be chilling out, and like I'd probably be in the kitchen, see what mom's cooking, come back, and I see him like he's just crunches. He's like, yo, what's up, man? And he's like full-blown conversation crunches. Like just like for an hour. Next year he has an 8-pack, bro. Like he's lit just by doing that, bro. It's just, they're built different, bro. And then people like trying to belittle them. Yeah. Like, bro, and then I just seen how it translated from that to on ice. Like it's like anyone can say whatever they say on whatever.
Exactly.
But it's like they can't. He has skills. To put it plain.
And I think one thing with people with autism, like they don't experience pain the way, you know, regular people experience pain on all that too. I think in the Proud Family too, they had this new episode where BB actually has like autism and all that too. Like this is like new season, like new style, like Disney Plus and all that. So basically, I think BB, I think he kind of fell down from like a staircase or something like that, or a rooftop, and then, you know, he was injured, but he had no pain, and like it led to like further investigation on what happened, and they found out he had autism. An interesting episode too. Like I didn't really watch it, but like I heard it was very interesting in that sense too, from seeing the clips, from understanding like what's going on too. And you know, you got to big up people who actually do go through these situations too, because like they'll have some sort of pain one way or another, but like you don't really see it like that too. So
exactly,
yeah, man, exactly.
And like, bro, on a final note, was like he's one of the only ones in my family that actually went to college.
True.
Just to add, like, there's no like I never went to college, but hey, that's still inspiration for me, where I'm like, yo, whatever I decide to put my mind to, I'm gonna achieve it.
Yeah, man.
Like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, he literally defied odds, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's not, like, to me, I look at it, it's like, what's not inspiring?
Yeah,
that's the question. Like, what?
Yeah,
I digress though.
Yeah, man. Just getting back onto topic right now. I don't know if you had like family that actually got into music, you know, from their musical background and history. I don't know if you had like family members who rapped or like were like in bands or anything like that. And, you know, what inspired you to become like a rapper, busker, street performer, and like hybrid artist in taking that seriously in that sense?
Yo, these questions are dope, man. For real. So, okay, I'll echo back and on that point where I was like, you know, starting from 8, right?
Yeah.
And you know how I was like different creative pots.
Yeah.
So when I really decided this is what I really wanted to do like no games with it, no like I wonder if I'm and again too, based off my history too, always somehow me just I guess luck of the draw, always being in different circles where people pushed. It's always been a competitive type of thing. My bro, Leighton, he the one I mentioned who passed, he not only was he him and my eldest brother used to be like wrestlers in high school. So they got trophies for that. They're big, like they were jocks. You know what I'm saying? They both sung. So, and then like my other brother, like that was mentioned that used to like draw extremely well. He loves singing and acts like I was saying, my sister had like music too. My eldest brother had music. So he had like hip hop tapes of like Warren G, you name it. Like, and it's funny, back then I didn't appreciate R&B as much as I do now. And it's weird. So I'll explain. So it's like, then I was so saturated at that time. Like I didn't even know what the word saturated was back then, but it was just at the time I felt like I was so like overwhelmed with it because that's all they played. Like they loved it so much. And now I appreciate it because I'm like, they just loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like Johnny Gill, for example, Tevin Campbell, you know what I'm saying? Or Tony Tone, you know? So for real, can you stand up? You know what I'm saying? What's it? Candy coated, like shit like that. Like always bumping, like, and we be doing like many dance contests and stuff in a living room and like. But yeah, like that around that atmosphere, that's what also helped. Like without me even realizing or not, like helped shape and molded like my influence. You know what I'm saying? Like just my range. So then when it came time to like go from creative palette, it's not like I'm drawing from blank. Like I actually have experiences, not just my own, but like the shoulders of giants. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you know, and then, like Johnny Gill, and then in terms of like what got me more so into the latter part of the question of the craft, right?
Yeah.
Yo, so when I was younger, like I was saying, I went and preached R&B. I always had the affinity to be different. So that's another thing that I've always had in me. I'm like, yo, okay, everyone in my fam, they love R&B. I love R&B, but I'm like, I'm sick of hearing this Johnny Gill. I'm sick of hearing this. Like, it's fire, but I'm like, nah, I want to explore some more. You know what I'm saying? And my other bros so happen to have like, you know, Rakim, you know, the Paid in Full and all that stuff. And so I ended up venturing into that. And here's the thing. So even though I come from that like 90s, 80s, because I'm, you know, background, I'm also still with this my current gen where we came up in the 2000s with the 50 cents. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I grew up with all that. Like, I'm like a collage, so to speak, of all that, right? But just the direction, I'm like, nah, I had to like study because I wanted to. I'm like, like the best way I can describe it is like, it's like Luke and like the lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is. It's a magnetic, like, just
like that feeling that wanting used to. It's kind of like an opium in that sense too. Now I kind of get it.
You know what I'm saying? And that led to that. And then like Rakim, then it led to Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, you know, KRS-One, Public Enemy, Chuck D, Flavor Flav, you name it. Like, and it's just the rabbit hole just going deep and then covering range. And then like going back to like, okay, so how does this tie in with like Eminem, and then figuring out who inspired him, and then just kind of picking things apart, putting it back together like Lego blocks. You know what I'm saying? Like that was
it's kind of like a family tree in that sense too, like knowing the inspirations and everything like that. Nah, I definitely agree, man.
Yeah, man, and that and then that translated into my craft because that was one of my things, and also my bro Layton, he like made sure that like when I was on my craft, like whatever I put in, you know, you get out, so to speak. You know, I mean, that sounds cliche, but it's like you the foundations. You know what I'm saying? And I can even say it from all the brother and my sis. You know what I mean? Like having integral roles, even whether they even knew like it was like, okay, this is preordained. This is like a cartoon episode, and like you're gonna be da 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 da. Like it wasn't like that, but they still played an integral role, like looking at it from like a whole scope of things. You know? And then now present time, I'm like, again, I'm not sound like a broken record, but I'm grateful because now I'm like, I have that foundation. And I even just echo a point too, when I have artists coming to me, I tell them like, yo, again, like you don't have to do exactly what I do, but I do employ that people really do like their homework and really understand what they're getting into, because it will do wonders for your craft. Because by knowing where you come from, like how, like, put it this way, like how are you going to set a mark where you even know where the mark is.
Yeah, man.
If you understand what came before, you not only have appreciation for it, but then obviously it will translate to your craft because then you understand the mechanics.
Yeah, man.
It's no different than it's funny because I just before this interview I was watching a Kobe tape where someone asked Kobe, they somehow like some random fan or someone had an opportunity, like a rare opportunity to see Kobe train. Like that's rare, right?
Yeah.
And they asked him because you seen him do like basic drills or whatever, right? And he wasn't doing anything fancy. And they're like, yo, why are you doing that, Kobe, or whatever? And he's like, yo, just because it's basic doesn't mean that it's not important.
Exactly. Nah.
I'll close with that. So
yeah, man. And just like getting on to part 2 right now, because we already explained a lot too, but like when you first started like busking, like street performing, how did you like approach it? And tell me more about that progression in performing in the streets and how that experience was like, you know, diverging in that aspect of music.
So I will say this real quick. So prior to like the 20 years of performing, I'm part of a collective right now, Cypher Squad, right? Prior to that, I was in another group in high school, and one of my other homies that I shouted out in a prior interview, he was like literally my partner in rhyme in high school, you know? I remember doing like different shows, you know, the talent shows. Like, I feel like those are like those earning stripes, you know what I mean? Like, you know, even if there's sandbox level, then you get out of sandbox and you eventually go to whatever, this level, then da-da-da-da-da, like, you know, like a video game, you know? I remember going through that and different groups. And then outside of that, like being on stage and performing. So like I was saying too, I met certain like legends from 2011 and onward. Yeah. For example, like my first homie, I'll say mentor because like I don't know him, but like Rakim, he was the first one I ever met at Manifesto. Like that's a hero of mine, legend. You know what I mean? And I remember at that time, I never kicked a rhyme to him, and this tripped me out because he told me he could tell that I was an MC. I don't know how. Like I'm like I don't know. Like if he just looked at me and he's just like the aura, and he just seemed like. It was like, I make a joke. It was like, as they see, like, you know, like Dragon Ball Z, the Z Scouter, like he had the Z Scouter, and he sensed the power. I don't know what it was, but I never kicked around to this dude, like on my life. And he was just like, "Yo, keep doing what you're doing." This is from the God, and like having that experience is like, I don't know what to say other than like, there's no room for doubt.
Yeah,
the God MC sat like. I don't know, bro. Like, and obviously, I gauge it where I don't allow it for me not to remain poised and stay humble because at the end of the day, I never want to forget where I come from. Yeah, because that's what's gonna help my trajectory. But anyway, in regards to performance, doing those, being in close proximity with those legends, doing shows at Opera House when I opened up for Joe Budden.
Oh, true.
Like that's a fun fact. You know what I'm saying? Like legit. You know. Then after I opened up for De La Soul, RP to True Roy, who just passed, and doing that, and I was at Mississauga, so that went back to Saga Celebration Square. Then back full circle, doing all that led to 2019, right? That's when I started busking officially. What's it called? My homie Real Edge, part of my crew, beatbox MC. Yeah. So say less. So he had the Sunset Cypher in Trinity Bellwoods, right?
Yeah.
And because he hosted this hub, one of our other homies who ended up becoming part of a crew, another beatboxer extraordinaire / beatbox champion, Andre Gibson, you know, I met him there. You know what I mean? I met him when I was outside when I came back from a studio session. I did like a 5-6 hour studio session. I was cooking beats. I make beats low key too. Yeah, I was cooking up beats, and I went on like. I got a 2-hour live freestyling for like 30 people on my live or 20. I can't remember, but they're just going in, people throwing me topics. And then end up going right after to Trinity. Yeah. And that's where I met Andre. We clicked like this. It was like Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince, Slick Rick, Dougie Fresh. Like literally off the rip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then after we're like, yo, we sound pretty dope. You know what I mean? And I remember right now, I don't remember exactly like the conversations, bear with me, but I just do remember that it ended up leading to like, yo, Long McQuaid, let's get a speaker. Let's head to Queen and I think the first place we went with, it was Queen and John. Yeah.
and just do it from there. Nah, I got you.
Literally, that was like in terms of, to your question, busking, that's what it led to. Like, you know what I'm saying?
True.
And then boom, then we ended up doing Queen and Spadina. Then Young and Dundas, we did once or twice. And there was a lot of, like, at that time, congested competition. And it wasn't like we're afraid of the competition. We just didn't want competition because we wanted to not only make money, but we just also wanted to tap in areas that weren't tapped in at that time.
Yeah.
You know? So
I mean, with Toronto too, I think like it's explainable too. Like there's a lot of stuff going on right now with the preachers, with, you know, the people doing the whole soccer thing and all that too, the whole climbing thing, the one girl that was like trying to do like covers like on the streets and all that. And
yeah,
I think also I think this who's that thing? There was like this band too. This guy named Doesn't Matter, It's Okay. Like he performs with a band too. So it's like very interesting too to see like what's going on and all that too, you know. So, but yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I'll say this fun fact that there was a time period too where, like, I mean, because people, just in case, I don't know if that's one of your questions, but I want to just toss it out there. I have got approached by certain people in like I guess a KOTD or whatever, like, but I don't know, like not like I would say the G League of them. You know what I'm saying?
True.
No disrespect, but like, you know, to do that, and then I don't know, that wasn't like my trajectory that I wanted to do. Although I in the mix of everything, I do have that battle background too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Nah, likewise, man. And you know, I think it already makes you stand out too, like with what you're doing with the audience. But you know, what kind of audience are you trying to like reach out like with your music, like when they come to the streets and all that?
So to be honest, I'm when I'm busking, I don't know if I have a chance to even say this. There's a lot of you got a lot of this is dope. Okay, so the audience when I'm out, like my focal point is not necessarily. This might sound strange coming from me, but I'm not there to just specifically just freestyle. You know what I mean? Like I am, but like my whole point is for this is to be a vehicle to back to my music. You know what I'm saying? Like the ultimate end goal for me is music, touring, like merch, everything that comes with it. But the focal point is the music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what drives everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the audience, of course, I do my best to target, like-minded people that have interest or love for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like that could be like, I would say that would be like my core audience. But at the same time, I don't shun away anyone that might just be a casual. Like, I don't like, for me, it's just all vibes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not to sound cliche, but like, you know what I'm saying? The fan approaches up and they have cool vibes and they're interested. I'm like, yo, here's my IG. Like, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? They can have a Bon Jovi shirt on for like, if the cool vibes doesn't matter. Like, fan's a fan or, people are people, you know what I'm saying? And I do my best to,
Yeah. And has it ever like helped you like, financially, like in that sense too, or at least engagement wise, like when people like follow you on social media? Because if it's not like the money, like do you at least get like follows and all that, like in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, I do pretty well for myself, man. I already said this on the other interview, but I was like, outside of like this, excuse me, I'm a pending Uber Eats courier or whatever.
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with them. Like they screw me over. And certain things, like every time. By the way, I should light on this. Part of the reason why I go really hard on what I'm doing also is like an investment in myself, so to speak. And it's like, and also honoring the contract I had with myself since I was 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like never stop, right? And really dealing with the adversity of the job life. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I literally went through the job life, like 9 to 5. I've also done door-to-door sales. I have a fun fact. I've worked in retail. Fun fact. I've worked in a factory. Fun fact.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. One thing along all those things, if I'm doing a job, like I don't want to like. I do my job. I'm not there like talking to the boss and spitting him like a 32 bar. Exactly. Like I'm focused on the task. Like you asked me, I gotta move these boxes and stack a skid. I'm gonna stack that skid like a perfect pyramid. Oh, that rhymed. But like stack it up. You know what I'm saying? And follow orders. But here's the thing. Like for whatever reason, every time I did what the corporate, they wanted me to do, it never panned out. They were hitting me up 2-3 weeks. Yo, sorry, man, we have to let you go.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, and I'll be doing the extracurricular, all this shit. So I'm like, all right, yo. So to be honest with you, y'all just gonna let me go like that, and y'all know I'm a valuable worker. Like, fuck y'all, man. Like, I'm like, okay, well, y'all can fire me, but I'm not firing myself. I'm firing myself up. I'm getting this shit done, like, regardless. Like, that, you know what I mean? So now, like, and that goes, you know, with like my performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Nah, likewise. And I know, like, usually, like, when you're street performing or busking, there are like a lot of like upsides and downsides to it. So tell me more about that, and what should like non-performers and viewers understand, like, from the busker side on those upsides and downsides.
Okay, so I'll start because I did a lot of upsides. So the downside or drawbacks, I'll say like misconceptions. Actually, it's not all you know, fun and games and roses. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's times where I get tested, and not necessarily bar sense, but like, Lord knows, like, my patience is
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get my doctor on, because I deal with a lot of patients. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's like, for example, I'll go to an example when I was at a King in Portland, for example. I remember dealing with some random dude pulling up, and I don't know if we got this film, but anyway, he pulled up, and this guy seen me. He seen me. I was surrounded by like a whole bunch of like fans, whatever, giving me words, and he just like, yo, I'm gonna battle this dude. And mind you, I declined it like 3 times. Like, I don't want, like I'm just doing my thing. I'm chilling. Like, I'm not in battle mode. I'm like, and I'm like, nah, bro, I'll wash you and blah, blah. It's talking wild. Like, it's wild shit. And I still didn't faze me, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you know what? And he's just so, like, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you really want this? You're putting money up. You feel me? Because I'm not doing this for anyone's entertainment. As I'll do it for free. Like, I love this shit. I'll do it for free, like free of charge. But I can't say the same if I go to the bank. I can't pay them in bars. I gotta pay them. I gotta pay myself with money, dog. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? So that drives someone. That dude pulls up and he's like, yo, wash you or blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then they feel entitled to take my mic. That's a downside. Cause like, yo, like, you know, I don't owe you nothing. You know what I mean? There's people that really have this entitlement thing. That's really bad. Like, I deal with that on a daily, bro.
Yeah,
like,
no, exactly.
And then, but I gotta give myself credit on how I handle.
Yeah,
there's a lot of situations that could have escalated into like fists, and I'm like, I just diffused myself. I'm like, no, it's not worth it, man.
Exactly. And I mean, like, there's like times when like even an upside can lead to a downside. You know, you see someone like, you know, like a random girl like at King in Portland, you know, feeling you and all that, like, you know, throwing like ass up for a bit, and then you don't even know like her boyfriend's just like right there. So sometimes too, it's like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen next. You know, like, it's like knowing like what's gonna happen. You're either gonna have a good time or a bad time, either way. You know. Yeah,
you know what's crazy? You say that, like, I've actually had instances. I guess this would be a downside. Here's the thing: if there, I don't want to mention any names because, but if there's any woman that at that time twerked or danced on or whatever, like, it's all consensual. Like, I make that apparent. Even if I'm in the moment, I'm jamming. Like, that's on the forefront of my mind. Like, I could be in my zone, but I make sure, like, she pulls up, I'm like, hey, bro, like, there's no strings. Like, I didn't do no voodoo spells. Like, it's consensual. You know what I'm saying? It's own volition ordeal. You feel me? And then it's like, it's at my discretion if I want to like engage in the energy. You know what I mean? Because like, I know some of these mans, some of these girls have their mans with them and they're not single. You know what I'm saying? And generally, if I know they are, and I read the energy, I won't even if a girl is like bad and comes up on me, I'm like, might be trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, it's like, one bubble can screw up the bubble of my hustle. You feel me? Like, nah.
And like, I mean, King in Portland, you're gonna have like the steppers too. So it's like, if they pull out like from the side bag too, you don't know what's gonna happen either way. You know?
You feel me? So it's like, I mean, without sounding cliche, it's like better safe than sorry.
Yeah, exactly, man. But like, you know, being different from like all the other Toronto artists too, have you ever felt like it helped you in your career as a recording artist? Like, I don't know if other like Toronto rappers or like big name Toronto rappers like pulled up to you like when they saw your performances, or would there be like any like downsides to it?
Okay, so I think in terms of downsides I covered. Okay, so the upside, there's a lot of upsides and downsides. I just had to just be real, you know what I'm saying? It's not, but the upside to busking, I would say more than anything, if nothing else registers, is experience. Like, you can't pay for that. Again, like you can't summon some, like, I mean, I don't know if into that, like, can't summon no Ouija, like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, like, I'm getting experience. Like, no, bro, you gotta be immersed in what you're doing, bro. Like, and to be honest with you, even with my experience prior to busking, this has sharpened my craft because I'm literally performing practically, if I'm not performing every day, I'm performing every other day, or maybe like if I have like 2 or 3 days rest, there's still like the other days where I'm putting reps in. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's like the way I look at it, it's like any other muscle you're building, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm working it out. So I don't know how that's an upside. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I get booked for shows, so my point is, I've been booked for shows from busking. So again, so prior to busking, I also, if there's any misconceptions out there, like prior to COVID, and mentioned I was doing Uber Eats because like COVID and all this hit, I was about to go on a tour, bro. Like I actually had like a mini tour that was lined up, paid gig, and that got derailed because everyone was inside. You know what I'm saying? And I just got proactive and found a way. You know what I mean? Like I was down for a bit like anyone else, but excuse me. Yeah. But I found a way where I'm like, no, I'm not. Just like the same stint when I dealing with corporate, not trusting me for whatever reason. Even though I showed a lot of reasons to trust me, but they didn't. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna join a conversation of not trusting myself. Y'all bugging. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's not happening. And then that's what birthed also my platform, Pass the Torch, on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Because just out of necessity, because no one was really doing open mics on Instagram outside of Tory Lanez. I shout him out because like he did like those 2 lives, those quarantine radio lives. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember I was busking King of Portland, and I had people pinging me in my inbox, yo, you need to go on because Tory Lanez. You remember he was handing out bands like 500, a K. I think the last live he did, he was handing out like I think 15K or something like that, just bodying a verse. Like there was like, yo, bro. I remember actually went to 2 of those lives. I didn't go to the third one. The 2 lives, bro. I swear. Jesus himself couldn't get into that live, bro. Like it was like packed. Yeah. Traffic. Like no one's getting in that, bro. Like there's a whole bunch, and then people were tagging me too. Like, yo, get Inferno on, get Inferno on. And even myself, I'm like, yo, get me on. And like whatever. For whatever reason, it just never panned out. Yeah. But then that ended up downside and turning to upside, because then that's what birthed Pass the Torch. But in regards to stage experience, full circle moment. Yeah, bro. Like now when I do full circle, performances, it's like literally second nature at this point, because I'm literally, not to say it wasn't before, but now it's really like I'm like pretty much like Goku on like I don't know, Namek. I'm just so in tune. Yeah, man. And that's where I'm at with it right now. And there's just only more room to grow. There's still more to learn. But again, going back to the foundation, this is just accentuating that. And also, shout out to my homie, Nick Kane, incredible MC lyricist. He's a hybrid like me. You know what I mean? Most likely go to busk with him later tonight. Like, yo, we're on it, bro. And it definitely translates to stage, off stage. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely would, again, full circle for artists. I told them, like, look, if you can perform outside, you're already doing you're doing a lot of things. You're crushing multiple birds with one stone. Like, they say the average person like is afraid of public speaking, right? Yeah. And there's a bunch of like things that exist, right? You're performing, you're putting yourself in the wind. Like you're already putting yourself in that turbulence. So you can withstand that turbulence. It's gonna translate. You know what I'm saying? Because exactly, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. 100%, man. And you know, just like I think we've already explained more on this too. Like even like with your sound too, you're kind of like more like an old soul like when it comes to your sound. So what made you to decide to only focus more on like your branding on like the 90s 2000s hip hop sound and like not following like trends like in Toronto or anywhere else?
Love that. I love that. I think that you might be the first one to ask me that. I will say, to be honest, echoing back, for me, it was just always being creative and different, bro. Like I have to uphold how my expression is. You know what I mean? Like literally, because like I'll say like the music makes me. You know what I'm saying? Like just being one with the sound. And for me, listening to the crates of classic artists and people that inspire me, like a Big L or Lord Finesse, or I can just name a Rolodex of people. But the whole point is, it's like, it's not just for nostalgia's sake. If there's a jewel I want to say, it's not just like, I'm bumping this just to like I feel a deep resonance with that sound because it moves me. So I feel if it moves me, that's going to translate to whatever I'm doing moving forward.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying?
100%, man.
So like, that's what, and that sound. And then like, for me, I can't, you know, I don't know if it's because I'm Sagittarius. I don't know because I'm Jamaican. I don't know. I just can't, you know, they say you can't Bati bench. I don't know. I just can't, it's just, it's not in me to copycat, you feel? Like I have to be original. And that's another thing too, that I feel that I've learned from that school where it's like originality. It's like over everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the skills, of course, you got to build your skills, but the originality is like, at some point that wasn't taboo now. Yeah. Like now that's like, I guess like some people could take things and there's no penalty. At that time, and when I was coming up, my older like siblings and stuff, you would get penalized literally taking someone's style. Like, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was real. But not to say that I'm an advocate for like the violence aspect of that, but the integrity aspect is integral to me. Like I uphold that as if that part, you know? But here's the thing. I've had people when I'm busking throwing me different beats, whatever type of beat trip me up, or at least attempt to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can do it too. Like the thing is, I know I can do practically any style because of my experience and training and all that stuff. But it's just whatever my soul calls, bro. I think that's just the ultimate answer to the question. Because if my soul called to do the I'll be doing that.
Yeah, nah, most definitely, man. Yeah, nah, like 100% too. And like I think like even in that sense too, there are like open opportunities where it's like different styles. You know, like Rolling Loud, you know, you're gonna have people that are more into like trap music, you know, basic mainstream hip hop, Carabana, Afro beats, you know, dancehall and all that too. You know, Festival of Beer, it's gonna be like, you know, old school hip hop in that sense too. So it kind of depends on like where you're at and like how people are gonna like approach it and all that too, you know.
Yo, and I also want to say, no, exactly. I also want to say too, I think part of my rebel with the cause approach is like, whoever's watching, like I want them to know, like, if there's anything else that doesn't like stick, like I hope this does. Like, don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah,
like literally, like if there's anything else that does not stick, is that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Because if you can be yourself, like who can do you better than you? Especially if you know you. It's like knowledge yourself. You're are one with yourself. How, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Especially this, what you just got to know what you is.
Yeah, nah, 100%, man. And you know, there was like an open opportunity that kind of like got you like a lot of views too, and it wasn't actually one of your videos, but it was actually a blogger by the name of like Charlie Bo 313. And how was it like, you know, interacting with him? Like we already saw the video. I'll probably like link it somewhere. But like, how was it like, you know, meeting him and interviewing you and Andre? And for people who don't know more about him in person, like, what's he like?
What's he like? Yo, I also want to say too, I know there's a questions go, but I wanted to say super, super quick. One of the downsides, I've had people also talk ish about me busking, by the way. Like I actually, I want to put that out there. I'm not mad. I ain't mad at you. Like Tupac, it's cool. Keep it moving, pimping. But to keep it 100, I had people talk ish about me busking, but it's led me, another thing outside of you getting experience it's led me to opportunities. Like
man.
earlier this year, I got booked for CBC interview, like radio. I have yet to publish it, but because of busking. And then obviously more other stuff.
Yeah, exactly, man.
And then Charlie Bo. The question now is like, I met him because I was with Andre outside Bloor in Ossington.
Yeah.
Performing for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Charlie, cool story. So he walked past us. I didn't know who he was. Like, no disrespect, because he's my homie now.
All right.
But at the time, I didn't know who he was.
All right.
Like, he just looked like a regular civilian walking past us.
All right. And I guess like for the description, is he like a tall black man, short black man, or what's his like shade and all that type of stuff?
I'll say he's average height. You know,
Average
just
height?
probably just like probably I'm 6'0", like L and I.
All right.
I would say he's like 5'10" from what I remember. Like it was 2019. Like I don't have like a T2 Terminator forensic like I do, but like not for that. I don't remember his exact height. But from what I remember, yes.
But like dark skin, light skin, like I know like he might have had the accent too, Detroit accent. So
oh no, he's dark skin. No, he's a brother. So he's a soul cold brother.
Yeah, because you don't really see his like face like that or his body. It's just him putting the cameras and all that type of stuff too, and him panning the camera to the people like speaking. You know, so
yeah, no, he kind of reminds me of Isaac Hayes. A bit. And from what I remember, it's like Isaac Hayes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember that scene in Fresh Prince where they're playing on the stage. Anyway, totally random. But yeah, no, he has that type of impression. But yo, I was just saying like when we met him, I didn't know who he was. Yeah. Like, and then me and Andre were going back and forth. Andre at that time he won 2019 beatbox in Montreal. He was champion. So that also helped us with people donating when he found out who he was. So he already had his own pocket. I had my pocket. I was building more of a pocket. And then me and him to combine was like literally a 2-man Slaughterhouse, a 2-man Wu-Tang, Voltron, like Agilist, like we're like dynamic duo for real. Like exactly. And then anyway, so but here's the thing, even with us, another thing too, I don't think is a downside, is just a conscious reminder, I'll put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he walked past us, right? He looked like he was mad or cheesed or whatever. Like this off a snap judgment. I don't know, but I didn't react. So he walked past us. He looked like he was mad or angry. I'm like, okay, whatever. There's like a bunch of people and he just walked past him. He's okay, he's like a civilian. I'm not going to assume and get mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's something I see some people do. Like, y'all got to stop that, man. You got to stop that. You don't know what people are humans, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came back. Then he ended up telling us, and see, this is what patience is a virtue. Yeah. He told us, like, yo, dog, like, you guys are incredible, by the way. But he's like, yo, I had a headache. Like, I had to go to McDonald's, and McDonald's was right there to pop Tylenol or whatever. He had to, deal with his headache. But he's like, he felt compelled. That's what the whole point is. He felt compelled to come back and tell us that. And on top of that, he's like, yo, you guys mind if I film you and interview you?
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing. What do you think me and Andre did? We're like, yeah, like, I didn't know who he was. I'm just like, you never know who's who. So I'm like, and plus is this fun? Like, why not? And plus, like, we're on our break. Like, we're rapping / beatboxing for like 2-3 hours or 4. I can't remember. Around that time. And we're like, yo, it's our break now. It's like, okay, let's interview. This is dope. Boom. Fast forward. That's that instance, accepting that experience. Look, that experience turned into like, last time I checked, it was like 1.5 million. The video with me and Andre. So there's 3 versions. There's one with the freestyle, which is still on YouTube. There's the other one with the full interview. Yeah. And then there's the other one that...
It's like Toronto, you're going to the hoods and all that.
The Toronto hood. And it's funny because even last night, before I went to my other gig, I had this other... I'm not gonna lie. She knows who you are, but she's bad. You know what I'm saying? She's pretty good. But anyway, she was with her fiance and... Okay, she might see this. I mean, in a respectable way, just in case, wherever this travels to, But anyway, she came to me and she mentioned that she recognized me, like, and because of the video, the same Charlie Bo, like no cap. And I was like, wait, yeah, it was me and Andre. And she didn't know who Andre was until I mentioned, like, right off rip. But the whole point is, it's like now, like, people know me outside of even just rapping, which to me is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, all this stuff is like a dream to the 8-year-old kid in me. Yeah. So
exactly, man.
Yeah.
And to kind of go like further, like for a bit too, like what's your creative process when making music, like with songs, like blazing manuscripts and like ill as like advertised too. And tell me more about being a hybrid MC and your proficient like songwriting skills.
Love it, love it, love it. Yo, honestly, like I'll say this, like if I had to deliver a product, I had a gun to my head, and I had to choose between freestyle and writing, I'm choosing writing.
True.
Because I really love writing. Like I really love writing rhymes. I love seeing how it looks on paper. I love constructing something like where I'm like, wow, it's like art to me. You know what I mean? Like it really is, really art form, and my process, it varies, you know what I'm saying? So for me, sometimes it depends on the beat. It depends on the theme or the topic I'm about to partake in, but all of that adds up to the recipe for the palette I want to, dish out, you know what I mean? And I love like not to sound like a broken record, but like just really love the art, like my craft. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to write, I had those dictionary thesaurus.
Exactly.
I used to write certain drills, used to write like certain rhymes on the paper and then select certain rhymes on the side, put them in the rhyme. I'll stack up like 2 bars, couplet, then go to a quatrain, and then double up. And then one thing I always did when I was younger, even till now to this day, I give myself little mini challenges when I'm writing. So what that might look like, for example, ill as advertised, right? That, shout out to 2-Bit who produced that, right? So that record wasn't the first record we meet him in the booth with, but that song idea, that the title wasn't meant to be the title. Like he sent me that beat when I was in Cali, right? And then when I got back, I remember he played the beat. We're in the studio, and then I had a like bunch of book of rhymes. It was like the Nas song.
Yeah.
I came in the studio with like,
yeah, exactly.
and he was probably one of the first people like, wait, what? You have, yo, I'm telling you, man. Like, and I pulled the rhymes out. I was like, okay, we'll go with this. And then I just found one rhyme sheet that literally had, I think, a 4 or 5 syllable pattern. So it's like ill as advertised, for real I damaged, or some rhyme scheme on the side of the page. And then I'm like, wait a minute, okay, you know what? Let me just play this title, ill as advertised. There's no hook. And I'm at a point in my career and my craft where I'm like, I'm very intentional. So like, I want to make sure that whatever I'm putting forth, out there is not only my best foot forward, but it also is a representation of me and how I will feel about my record down the line.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm here to make timeless records and not throw away like microwave McDonald's scrap stuff, right? So anyway, back to the writing process. Ill as advertised, I selected from that book of rhymes. And then I'm like, I just started playing around with the hook. And that's how that song got, like the song got birthed.
True.
And then I ended up writing the verses, and then boom, that became that hit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like people love that record, they love the hook, and it's like that wasn't originally supposed to be the hook. That was just a rhyme.
Yeah, exactly.
And essentially, that was supposed to be, and also it was a play on words too.
Yeah, exactly.
Ill as advertised. I just thought it was a cool phrase I created. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And then blazing manuscripts. That one is more so like just what I do. Like y'all know me for, encapsulated with like direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I'm really like stacking everything, and that whole verse, that's like literally like I'm like I'm a one-man posse cut. Like there's no hook.
Exactly.
There's no hook on Blazing. It's just a whole verse. One long verse. It's like imagine New York State of Mind with no hook. Like at least New York State of Mind, New York State of, like that song is just boom.
100% too, How do you feel about the Toronto music scene right now? Do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to?
Oh, good question. Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. For the time, I'll say that I had this talks with my homie in the crew, and in a nutshell, Toronto, I feel we're still a young city in a nutshell. Yeah. Like there's still elements where there's a lot of talent. Don't get me wrong. I want to that explicably clear. There's a lot of talent here. Like there is. Like there's no BS and 6 bucks. Like I know there is, right?
Yeah.
However, I know that the infrastructure could use improvement, and not just on the music side. Like I honestly think the business side needs to be matched with the talent, because that's what drives the music, right? You need a direction. And I think that like it will take some time. Like spaces like this, these conversations becoming more healthy and more out there and more commonplace is what will help change the trajectory in the narrative. Because, for example, New York, Houston, LA, like when you hear those places, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You already know they're established. I don't gotta go into specific. Like New York is like a well-oiled machine, and not just hip hop, just performance. Period.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like what we talking about? If you're talking tap dancing, what's my man Gregory Hines? You know what I'm saying? Like, tap dancing. Exactly. You're talking whatever, like whatever, like genre or field of what's it called?
Technicality and all that.
The technicalities and all that. You feel me?
Yeah.
But in regards to Toronto, I honestly feel what I just mentioned. These conversations, for one, I think will help move the needle ultimately, and also, I also feel
like more so like the outreach and all that, like having like these like live events too, because with Rolling Loud and like with other events too, like I mean, there was like a We Love Hip Hop event where I think Chinese Kitty performed. And I think JD Era also promoted the event too. Like I think he was hosting it too, and they had like a shitload of like female rappers like on there, like Paris Richards, Taylor G, Goldie London, like all that type of stuff too. So like even like creating like events for everyone like that, you know, to bring people together, like it is like very necessary. It doesn't have to be Rolling Loud. It doesn't have to be a main promoter like a rap season or an Embrace. You know, Toronto Media Page could easily do the same thing too, or like a certain brand that could also work on too. And like I've had these discussions with other artists too before. So like even like creating that outreach and having these conversations like this, it's very important to say, like, and that's what I could like say from like right there too. And yeah, exactly, man.
Exactly. And real quick, I know time, but like Hot 97 and different publications and whatever, so on and so forth. I feel like Toronto also needs, I think more than anything, I mean, they're known as a screwface capital, so I mean, there's no getting around that. But I honestly think, I don't know what the replacement name for it would be at the moment, but I just know that this conversation is important, for one.
Exactly,
and
man.
two, I think that this might sound controversial, the first controversial thing, but yo, I honestly think I get the aspect on why people gatekeep. But I think on the overall trajectory of things, it's holding people back.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Because everyone is like, oh, it's me. And I'm going to echo a Tupac interview that I deeply resonate with. Where it's like, it's just me. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, exactly. No.
You might get successful to a certain degree with a ceiling, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, if you have the whole chessboard, a 3D chessboard, you're holding the whole shit back. But that might be for another time. But like I honestly think there has to be some type of, on the business type of side, where like more artists like myself have like a voice.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And reach. And we also have a reach that, like, don't get me wrong, if any artist goes on Hot 97 or whatever type of thing and gets their like shine, that's dope too. But we want I'm gonna close up with this. We should have our own thing where like, yo, Toronto has such and such. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like Lenza Yashu, pull up here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
like,
man.
obviously, I know you like. Well, it goes without saying, you'll screen who's here. But like, if they're on paper, everything checks out. Why not?
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And for you right now, how are you trying to expand, you know, your social media presence as an artist too? Because I know most people like they want to expand the social media.
Yo, so honestly, busking is one, because I'm outside, I'm inside. So okay, like I'm getting like best of both worlds too, because like the upside is online, offline interaction.
All right.
So the people that are in person are seeing who I am and like they're connecting. So it's not even just like, oh, clout. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're connecting on and offline.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other ways is figuring out, like, I think the stronger the artist knows their specific brand is the way to expand.
All right.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, we'll have a lot of time to say, but that's the thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I remember prior to busking and doing all this stuff, and I also have a background in low-key in business too, but understanding marketing and stuff, I know that like I think would be true for artists. Like, I know back then, like prior to busking, like I did have a pocket of people and stuff,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
did have like, I think last time, I had like no, I didn't have a K. I had like 900. I was close to a K prior to busking, and I was still doing well. I was enough to like get booked for a tour prior to COVID.
Yeah.
Now, well, all that stuff's been a blessing in disguise because now, like, yo, dude, like, I'm not saying people have to just busk, but whatever avenue and whatever lane is, that was the letter of lane that helps your trajectory. Go with that full force because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, exactly.
That's expanding my brand, and I you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say before we go on to the freestyle?
Yo, I'll just say, man, like, whatever is calling you now, whatever you have, I would highly, employ, if you haven't already, have a 10-year plan or whatever. I mean, this is not new stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like there's truth in the cliches. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you have, envisioning yourself, envisioning that now, and find a way, or actually not even just find a way, create a way to actualize that. You know what I'm saying? And whatever steps in between, meditation, et cetera, pursue it full force. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, whatever your heart's calling you to do, I employ that. You know, that's my closing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because we have to kind of like let it through a freestyle for a bit too. Like I already gave you your thing too. Like you're gonna like read that for a bit, and I guess we'll do that right there. And I think that's gonna be the closer right there. You know.
Do it. Oh wow. Got Cardi. Oh shoot. Shout out to Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Woo. Hey. What up? Supernova Human Torch. Lenza. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. What? How we spinning now? On the flow. People are grinning now. Now I rock when I'm flipping now. Season and planning. Now I'm winning now. But I'm planning more. Then expanding more. On the flow, earth's hot. Expand the core. Yeah. Every time expand the shores. I'm official, like Cardi, official, expand it more. I'm on the beat, dropping heat right here. Honestly, having the talks with Yashu on the flow, like the flow. Now I'm on the flow that really crash new rhythms and flow. This how I rock and then go. I write from the lines and never fit in the mode. Creative. Hip hop is just the native like that. Now we switching now. Oh, now we switching now. On the flow, now I really get my flow pitch. Bring it back on the sicker style. Talk about following your voice. And your heart, man, that is a choice. You had to lead it. Yeah, now I'm really just the right dude. Shout out to you for knowing that Ice Cube. Bring it back to NWA. Now I'll get the flow and the W relay on the beat. Back then, flow, now I put it in the caption. Now it's IG. Now I rock when I spit no damn. Give no damn. Composing Instagrams right in front of you. Jeez, oh my lord, on the scale and weights. Now even the Liberty, Lady of Liberty had to wait on the scale. Now I got the flow and now I'm waiting they bail like Christian. Spit on, a big Don, a spit on, a big proper. Composer, Tupac and Big Papa. Rose to concrete, we drop these. I used to chill at Long Beach, spitting these hot flows over hot beats, bringing it back, and now I talk, cause peeps know how I really spit it like, wait, oh shoot. You lack the minerals and vitamin. I don't even care who be rivaling. Now rappers really had to find a pen. Now they in the flow Gilligan. They ain't surviving on this island and bring it back every time I'm wising in. Every time I cheat out. Word of my bro, if you listen to interview, who got deeked out? Shoot, every time I spit it with the raw wisdom, trying to box me in and box him out, man. You can't box me with autism. Speak to the people. Now we're bringing it, kicking it, moving the lethal on point. It's magneto, it's magnetic when I rock it with the flow. Pragmatic, no problem. Every time I really solve them, I'm involved. Now I'm awesome. From here to awesome, we dropping. Now I'm kicking it, moving the rappers like popping like Bane in Gotham. Now we're really rocking. Now they spotting with these bars. They swear I just be jotting, but I'm jotting as a writer. Now it's spitting definition, illmatic. Cause right now it was written in the freestyle, crazy. Now I'm rocking on the orthodox. On the floor, I sort these thoughts. Shoot, man, this time is limited. You hear the slick Rick on the sample on the district. You know I rock, giving a trample. Hit it like that, man. You wonder like, how could this can go? Now they talking about going my crew, talking fake Wu-Tang, they can't blow. Yeah, right in the bunker. Now igniting these thoughts, kinda like thunder and lightning, just united. Every time I really strike it now. Rappers ain't ish, now they wipe the bowels, flush it down the toilet, excuse the reference. Now I'm in the game, player don't use no benches. Yeah, hit it like that, now with these huge dimensions. Now I'm building on the hair of their skin, that's 2 dimensions. Dimension in the universe, multi, hit it like that. That's how it truly reverse the curse and getting the blessing in the session. Now I bring it to kick it to stand tall on my actual principles like confession. Now I usher in, now let it burn like a perm. Now we run it then, spit it with the flow. Now we're rocking, so we're running in. Rappers say the same ish, they Democrat, Republican, same thing, same part. Every time I say the flow, I defy the odds. Talking Superman, but they straight Zod. Every time I this hand of bone, sure they say I'm handsome homes, cast into the phantom zone. Okay, that might be some DC or some comics, believe me, we keep these. And every time I drop this, now I'm just a cosmic, now really rocking out of God's particle. That's how we're rocking in the article. Now we're bringing it back, now we Sparta flow. We dropping you, sharp like the hair follicles of Bartholomew, stomping you, dropping you. Honestly, this is just an honest dude. Shout out to Lindsay Yashu, I can tell he's an honest dude. Yeah, every time I really see out, it's like his logo. Through the lens, I see out. Get it? Lens, I see out. Capture, it's like a camera. Life is a moment. That's how we're rocking on the banister. We right here. Yeah, you know they time's up. OC, I'm digging the crates when the rhyme's up. Every time I rock, know we truly progress. Rappers catch a big L. Watch the Lord ooze with finesse. Shit, that's from my hip hop heads. You know what instead. Now I'm a maestro, fresh west. Every time I spit it, man, I never really. I gotta lift these bars like a bench press. And I'll show like Socrates, honestly, with my mathematics that are rocking the excess. Let's get this paper.
All right, man. That's it, what it is, you know, like I don't have to say more, you know. This is Josh, also known as Yashu of TLOY Talks, signing off.
Oh, peace.